Hello, geometry students. We're in section 1-2 today, which talks about linear measures. And during class time, we talked about what the difference between a line and a line segment was. A line goes indefinitely, and a line segment has two endpoints. And then we talked about congruent. Congruent means equals. And we talked about what the congruent symbol was, which was an equal sign with a tilde. And then we talked about how congruent segments are labeled in a figure. So I have my AC here and my CB are being congruent or equal. And so I have both of them with the same number of markings on them. And then I wrote AC congruent to CB here. So all of this right now is a review. And then during class, you analyzed the segment addition postulate, and so now we're going to talk about that in this lesson. And so I have in the lesson here, I have segment PQ. That's my whole segment, PQ, and it equals the two pieces added together. That's what segment addition postulate says. So PQ is broken out into two pieces, which is PM, and I can add MQ to it. So if I add those two pieces together, I'm going to get the full segment. If I take some numbers and write it in here, if PM is 6 and MQ is 2, the whole entire line then, PQ would be 8. So do you guys see how that works here? My PM was 6. My MQ was 2, so my full line segment ended up being 8. Now let's apply this to some algebra problems. Let's take a look at the exercises or examples that we have in our lesson. Exercise number 1 says, find the value of x and then find KL if K is between J and L. And then I'm giving Kj as 2x, Kl as x plus 2, and Jl as 5x minus 10. Now, I strongly suggest that you take a minute and you draw a picture. Draw it so that K is between J and L on a line segment. So my J and my L, and K is somewhere in between, and I don't know really where, but I'm just going to put it right there. And then let's put our expressions into the picture as well. So I have my JK, which is 2x. I have my KL, which is x plus 2. And then my whole entire line, which is J all the way to L, so I'm going to use a big bracket there. And I'm going to go 5x minus 10. And I'm going to use my segment addition postulate here. I'm going to add my two pieces together, and hopefully you people can see those two pieces. My JK, which is my 2x, and then I'm going to take my KL, which is x plus 2, and it equals the whole entire line segment, which is 5x minus 10. So I've taken my two pieces, added them together to equal the entire piece. And now I need to go ahead and take care of my algebra. So I'm going to add my like terms together, and I'm going to get 3x plus 2 equals 5x minus 10. I'm going to rearrange it. I'm going to move my numbers together on one side. So I'm going to add my 10, I'm going to get 12, I'm going to move my 3x to the other side, I'm going to get 2x, I'm getting x to equal 6. Now make sure while you're doing your homework assignments and you're taking quizzes and tests that you're answering the question completely. And so in this example it says find the value of x and KL. So I do need to find the value of x, which is 6. I'm going to box in my answer. That's communicating to my teacher and to the other readers that here, this is the answer. I'm done with this problem. I'm not done with this problem because I need to find KL now, which is x plus 2. So my KL is 6 plus 2. And it would be nice if I could keep working down, but I'm running out of room. So my KL ends up being 8. And I'm going to box that answer into, so I'm communicating what my final answer is. And so in this whole process, people, you needed to make sure this is your work. When you go to do your homework, I need to see all of the details. You need to be communicating that mathematics to the next person who's reading it. Let's take a look at our next problem. All right, so right now I have a correction. It says find the value of x and find. I have changed JL to KL. So K is between J and L. So I'm reading that and I'm thinking I'm going to need a picture. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line segment, J, L, and I'm putting K somewhere in between. All right, and then they're going to give me my expressions. My KJ, or my JK, is x squared minus 13x. So I'm going to write x squared minus 13x in that spot. My KL is 2x. And then my whole entire line segment is 60. And so using my picture, do you see, people, I can tell I need to take this piece plus that piece to equal the whole entire thing. So I'm going to take x squared minus 13x plus 2x. I'm using segment addition postulate. I'm adding my two segments together here to equal the whole entire segment, which is 60. And now I got to get my like terms together. So I'm going to get x squared minus 11x equals 60. And so during geometry, we're going to use a lot of algebra. And in this instance, I have a quadratic term. X squared is a quadratic term. And to solve with quadratic terms, I need to go ahead and factor. So what I need to do at this point is I need to move everything to the same side. So I'm going to move my 60. And this is an algebra review. And you will have to be able to complete this type of problem in your homework. So now I have an x squared, I have minus 11x, and I'm going to go minus 60 equals 0. And so now I need to go ahead and factor that. Factoring is thinking of what two binomials multiply together to get this trinomial, three things there, and I need two binomials, so I'm going to need two things and two things. This is the reverse of FOIL. So my x squared came from my first. That's what F stands for first. So that's x and x. To think of your backs, they have to multiply to get 60 and add to get negative 11. So at this point, you're thinking of numbers that multiply to get 60 and add to get 11. So let's see, and maybe you need to write them down. 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15. And I have negative 60 here. So one of them is going to be negative and one of them is going to be positive. Because it's negative 11, my larger one has to be negative. And when I was writing 4 and 15 down, do you see positive 4 and negative 15 gets me negative 11? So it's going to be negative 15 and then plus 4. Now negative 15 and 4 is not the answer. At that point, people, each one of these can be 0, so then you need to take x minus 15 and set it equal to 0. It's not negative 15, it's move the 15 to the other side, x is 15. And then the second one is x plus 4 equals 0, and move the 4 to the other side, so it's x equals negative 4. Now at this point, maybe you're saying, okay, I have my answer, I'm gonna go ahead and box my answer in. In geometry, we need to be thinking about, is this answer going to be a correct answer in my solution? I'm talking about line segments here, people, is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the length of KL. If I put 15 up here, I'm going to get 30, and that's going to work. When I go ahead and take my -4 and plug it in there, 2 times -4, that's going to get me -8, and I can't have a negative line segment. So at this point, I do not want to keep my -4 because it's producing negative line segments. Please do not automatically cross out the negatives, because sometimes when you plug a negative in there, had that been a -2x, you would have got a +8. So you need to plug them back into the expressions and check your answers that way. So I've got 15 for x. I'm going to box my answer in to communicate that with Mrs. Hefty. That's my answer. I also need to find, I'm going to come over here, people, because I'm running out of room. I need to find KL. And KL was 2 times x. So my KL is 2 times 15. So my KL is 30. So I'm going to box that answer in as well. So as you see here, people, again, I have done a good job of showing all of the details that communicating the mathematics is crucial in all of your mathematics. So writing down all of the steps, boxing in your answer. I'm done. You have an awesome evening, and I'll see you guys in class tomorrow.